Hey, what up, guys? Good evening. Good evening. Um, we've been trying to get this started for a couple of little bit. Supposed to do the show on Thursday. Things came up. Um, and so now we here. I want to start on a couple of topics. I'm waiting for my boy Maine. He's watching the Denver versus Lakers game right now. I haven't caught the score. I'm about to try to get it on right now. I'm dealing with a little technical difficulties, but got a few things we want to talk about this week. We want to get into what the show topic was, overrated and underrated players. And I think, when we use the term overrated and underrated, usually the underrated is pretty straightforward. You're thinking about a player that doesn't get enough credit, probably is better than given credit for. And when you talk about the term overrated, a lot of people, when you say somebody's overrated, that means, oh, he sucks. No, he's a good player, but I think he gets a little too much credit, a little too much expectation. Sometimes when a guy's overrated, you're thinking you expect too much. Like, right, you expect a guy who is deemed a superstar to sort of win by himself or win without. We talked last week about what is help for a superstar. Well, sometimes there's tears on a certain superstar. So when I was looking at the game, the Lakers were looking good. I saw they had got up to a 10-point lead going into the first quarter. I haven't caught the score update since. I've been doing something, trying to get prepared. But yeah, I wanted to touch on the PK Subban um, chatter this week. He had gone in on first take following the All Star break, and you had a few dead days. The first game after the All Star break was Wednesday. Ironically, it was Lakers versus the Hornets, and Hornets had pulled an upset that night. Yeah, so the Hornets had pulled an upset that night, and they Lakers came back and beat Portland the next night. Everybody, pretty much by last night, everybody was playing. So you got a big matchup tonight. And Denver have owned the Lakers as of late, pretty much since the bubble season. The COVID, I would call it the COVID season. People call that the bubble season, forget that they actually played, so pretty much past the All-Star break and a few games. Like I think March was when the league shut down, and then they started back up. And Lakers beat the Nuggets in the conference finals that year, but that was also the year that they lost Jamal Murray to the ACL tear. So yeah, we're gonna get on a couple of things. We're gonna get into what we think the playoff seedings will be, and we're gonna get into the overrated, underrated. But I want to start off with the PK Subban thing and give my little commentary on it. Yeah, PK Subban. If those who don't know, it's probably he's a retired hockey player who's an up and coming sports analyst on ESPN. And being that hockey had it was crazy. It's crazy that when I watch hockey, I love watching it. I just don't know who anybody is. Right? PK Subban, I heard of him. He was a pretty good player. I couldn't tell you what his numbers were. I couldn't tell you how many rings he won, how many times an All-Star, but I do know he played hockey, and I do know the culture in the sport of hockey is like night and day compared to what you have in the NBA. And I think that was the key. I mean, if anything, hockey players get a lot of respect for playing hard. They get a lot of respect for going hard, and that's part of those who love hockey, right? Again, these are a bunch of guys. Most of the league is from not in the United States. That's why you were able to have a four-country showdown for supremacy, and those guys took pride in it, and that is, I guess, when that was going on the same sort of weekend, to see the night and day contrast between what the hockey does for their celebration of their best players and what the NBA does. I've had been in a lot of discussions about it. I kind of understand not playing so hard, but what has become again, you talk about pride, you talk about what are you playing for, you know, again, you talk about the money. It's not, when you talk about the money, it's not to hate on guys for making money, but at the end of the day, I mean, when you're making so much money, when you have so much riding on it, when you just have so many people, so many eyeballs, when you understand, when you get down, come off your person, you understand it. People, well, I couldn't even imagine how much tickets for All Star Weekend were. I mean, probably talking about people's weekly salary just for the tickets alone. I forget all of and I'm talking about for guys that have really good jobs. I mean, people might have to save. An average person might have to save. And I get it. It's a lot of corporate events. People probably put their corporate put their corporate they send their employees or whatever, or so the crowd might be a mixed crowd. It might be people that just they got it like that. But again, I believe that there's a duty. I believe there's a solemn duty to actually put on a show. Nobody's asking for the hardest. Nobody was asking for the hardest played game. But put on a show. Don't sit there jogging half speed and looking like it's not a competition. I think that's all people was asking for. And then when you get the situation with the hockey where they fight, and again, I can get into one thing that fighting is so looked upon, because other hockey leagues they don't allow fighting, but here in the United States they allow fighting. And again, for a crowd that's for a sport that's about 90 something 95% white, and I couldn't tell you who I could. Sidney Crosby, uh, uh, does Nash still play for the Rangers? I could tell you 3 Rangers, right? So, and that's my team. I when I watch it, I love what I'm watching. The players are just not as marketable, and that's understandable. That's understandable. But since the players are not marketable, we don't watch. The players in the NBA are very marketable, but they're not likable. And I think that's a big issue. That's a big issue. Like, why don't we like the NBA players? Why don't we like the NBA players the way we like, other sports, or even respect them? Look. I was on a podcast this week, and people were telling me, well, the NBA isn't marketing to you. They're not marketing to your age group, which is absolutely a ridiculous commentary. Ridiculous. Because first of all, when you have a $77 billion media deal, you know, you got to market to everybody. You want everybody watching, not just little kids who don't understand that these guys are not playing hard. You want everybody watching. There's no expiration date on becoming a becoming a player. I mean, being a fan. There's no expiration date on your fandom. So that idea that the game has passed you by is ridiculous. It's ridiculous in thought and ridiculous in nature. The game has passed no one by. People are fans from birth, from like the childhood to death. That's how it works. So you can't, no people can't tell you, oh, the NBA doesn't market to you. That's nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. So, um, the idea that the game has passed me by, I'm never gonna, I'll never feel that way. But that's what it is. When you're protecting a certain class of player, the players you like, you're gonna feed yourself that mumbo jumbo. You're gonna feed yourself as much of that mumbo jumbo as you possibly can muster, and it's not logical. It's not logical to believe that the league is just not marketing to every demographic. That's what a league needs to actually thrive and survive. You need as many eyeballs. So it's not just about taking little kids who don't have any complaints about the game. This is a game. Again, it's a child game, yes, and that's the thing, right? These guys, every sport is pretty much made for the kids can play. They start playing when they're children. They practice. They get better. They get better. They get into their adolescence. They get into their teenage years, high school years. Next thing you know, they're being drafted. You're drafted at 18. You're a 10-year-old kid. You're 8 years away from being drafted. You know, so you gotta. There's a fine line to walk, and you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful to understand who your fan base is. You gotta be careful to understand who your fan base is, because you know you have to appease as many. Look, you're not gonna please everybody, and I think that's what guys who want to blindly defend every player. That's what they think. You're trying. You can't please everybody, but please as many people as you can. And again, give us guys who play hard. That's not a lot to ask. It's never been a lot to ask. The guys play hard. The guys actually care. Again, when you hear people open their mouth and say the game bores me, this that, like it just. Again, I think the issue, and again, it's maybe unfair to compare to Kobe, but it's like Mamba mentality has died. Unfortunately, Kobe's no longer with us, and Jordan is, and Jordan, is living his golden years. Um, he doesn't owe it to everybody to, be all over, gotta have his handprints over the game. He's breathed. The same thing Kobe did. They breathed and let the new stars shine. They didn't, you didn't put your handprint over everything. But the new guys, and I think this is what Stephen A. and Stupon was getting at, and they made a very good point that I thought of as well. What do you feel the responsibility to leave the game in a better place than it was? Do you guys feel the responsibility to leave the game better than it was? That's a solemn thing, man. That's a solemn thing. I'm gonna pause right quick. Let me see. Oh, Jermaine is here. Thanks, Scott. Hey, JB, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Yeah, I just got started. I got one drop off to make real quick, but did you hear what I was getting into? So I was talking about the PK Subban thing. I don't know if you saw that on First Take. I know we kind of brushed on it.
Oh yeah,
how
yeah.
PK Subban on First Take and Stephen A. and all of them, and PK Subban pretty much read the players their rights, right? So who is this hockey?
He read them their rights. That was funny. That was funny. Nah, it was
yeah,
funny.
It was hilarious, in my opinion. It was hilarious, but it was so poignant because, again, you're talking about, look, they can make millions playing hockey. They can make a couple $1 million playing hockey. These guys making hundreds of millions of dollars playing basketball. And it's not about him hating on the money, because at the end of the day, they're all well off. What he's saying is players have a responsibility to lead the game better than what it is, And I was just talking about how Jordan and Kobe, right, the mama mentality died with Kobe, and Jordan is just, Jordan doesn't put his, when he was in ownership, he didn't put his fingerprints all over the game, you know what I'm saying? But by the same token, it's like you let these guys hold on to the game, and they're not doing a great job with it, in my opinion, So if you want to, tell me what you said, because I'm on my phone still. I still haven't had a chance to get home and catch the game. But what's the score?
Oh, Lakers up by 9.
Oh, by 9.
Luka,
okay, I know they won by 10.
I think Luka got 19.
Okay, looking sharp tonight.
Yeah, they crowding. They really trying to crowd. Jokic and Denver been turning the ball over, and they only got 7 points off their bench. They only got 7 points,
Denver.
but I mean, like I said, the way I see it, man, the way I see it is the Lakers trying to prove a point. Denver's been a nemesis for the past 2.5 seasons, and Denver got to adjust to their new lineup with Luka in there, man. Luka. They say he got the third highest point per game average in the history of the NBA. So we talking about Jordan, Wilt, and then Luka. You know what I mean? LaRoe. LaRoe. Can you hear me, Ro? Ro? Right. He said he gonna drop off. Okay. He did say that.
Yo, I'm back right quick.
Okay. Yeah. So
All
I
right.
was just saying, yeah, it's a 6 point game now. Basically, man, it's just Lakers trying to prove a point. LeBron out here gunning now. He trying to prove a point. Denver been a nemesis, and Denver got to adjust to Lakers' new lineup. 3-point game, just like that.
Listen, if you remember, Denver would always kind of find ways to come back on them. So,
One point game, just like that. 1 point game, just like that. God dang it, man. You know what's sad about it is they trying to get this dude, Luka. He's third all time in points per game in the history of the NBA. So we talking Jordan, Wilt, and then Luka. And it just feels like Luka shouldn't he be on the Lakers? He's supposed to be in Dallas, But 3-point game. Six-point game.
Yo, man.
11-point game, just like that.
Okay, who's up now?
No, Lakers up by 11.
Oh, Lakers went on a quick run. Okay.
But no, I was saying, man, Luka is third in top 3 in NBA history in points per game, behind Jordan and Wilt. And it's Luka. So, it's almost like it feels like that they snatched Luka from Dallas to redirect him to LA to try to help this. And they'll continue to bring up the Pippins and the Gasols, but
Mm-hmm.
so Denver just got to try to adjust to what they're doing, man.
Yeah. I mean, look. The Lakers. I will say the Lakers do look sharp. There's certain things that they get to do. I still think that Denver. Again, I'm not watching the game. I did watch part of the first quarter, and Denver's very methodical, and they've been able to best the Lakers by being methodical. Obviously they've lost a little bit of their athleticism. They lost a little bit of perimeter defense. I like Christian Brown, and I like the additive that Westbrook has added back to that team. So Denver is a legit contender. The Lakers are looking better. You can't deny that, but I still think that there are some fatal flaws with the Lakers. I'll put it that way.
Well,
and
like I said, man, how can I put this, man? I just think at the end of the day, just changing these rosters every year, man. Like I said, I'm numb to it, man. I have nothing against Luka. I have nothing against Luka at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a tremendous. I trust more in Luka than the other guy. But the fact that they constantly try to help this dude win, man, I just and that's what led the PB Soup. What's his name? PB Subban, or say what he say
PK
this
Subban,
weekend. Michael Phelps, he called the man this out, man. The dude is been given all world help throughout his career, man, and it has brought the league dynamic down.
Facts. I mean, look, again, I'm going to call it out. I think he's not the only. I'll put it this way: he's not the only one, but he's damn sure the leader. And again, him calling out of the All-Star break, an All-Star game. I mean, again, you talking about a guy, because even Giannis last year when he was legit hurt, played a couple of minutes and sat out the rest of the game. If you're gonna do that, you want to, again, and it's the thing too, right? I'm glad Giannis did that, because to me, when you go, I've said this a lot of times, if you go half speed playing basketball, I said this when we went live on the All-Star break. When you go half speed playing basketball, that's the quickest way to get yourself hurt. You gotta actually run out, sprint out. You can't do things like just jog up and down the court and then next thing you know jump. That's how people get hurt. I mean, I've done that where it's the last game and I go home. Guys ain't playing hard. I go home. Like, all right, this game is over. If you're not gonna actually, challenge my shot, run up and down and sprint, you can't do it. And again, no one's asking people to try to take people's heads off. Nobody's asking people to risk injury. Again, anytime you play, you're risking injury. But anytime you do anything, you're risking injury. Anytime you do anything physical. So what are you doing? Are you playing for some sort of pride? What are you doing? Again, Silver had 40 sponsors. Why we had to watch all them damn commercials. And again, the winner gets $200,000. If we're at the point where we scoff into a $200,000 prize just to play in an exhibition game, then where are we? So again, these guys, and I think, like he said, leave the game in better shape than you got it. That's what Jordan. This is what when everybody has these debates and when everybody brings up Jordan, how Jordan ruined the league, and I was told by Lowe and all these guys on that podcast, oh, Scotty did this, Scotty did that, and Akeem Olajuwon, I mean, I wanted to get in there so bad when I was debating with Lamont on FYF. I wanted to get in so bad. Do you understand that they used to give cortisone shots to these guys for their back, and that's the reason why. That's pretty much the reason why Alonzo Mourning had kidney failure because of the drugs they would give him to get their back ready to play. So for you to sit there and say, "Oh, Akeem Olajuwon complained about playing with his back and all that," yeah, there was legitimate reasons for that, brother. There was legitimate reasons. Again, Larry Johnson on the Hornets, they were given that shot. They were given that shot in their back many years, many times. That pretty much caused kidney failure.
Yeah. You talking about Larry Johnson?
Yeah, it wasn't your garden variety. No, it was a lot going on into that. I'm gonna bump Jermaine. Just hold it down. Just talk about the game or whatever. I'm gonna be back. I just gotta bump out for about 2 or 3 minutes.
All right.
All right. Just also hold it down. Just if you want to just do live react to the game and whatever's going on, let me know.
No,
I'm about to get
Lakers up by 12. They're up by
about
12.
Okay, so they had closed it up there.
They up by
Closed it
9.
to 1.
Aaron Gordon just hit a 3.
Hit a 3. Okay. All right. So I'll be right back.
All right. Turnover. Six-point game. Murray got fouled too. I think Hachimura going to the free throw line here. He missed the second one.
Yeah, hello? Yeah, man, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, man. So
It was a 9-point game, man. Like I say, man, it just behooves me, man, that the help that this guy has played with, and they wonder why he's been able to prolong his career as long as he has. But like I said, at the end of the day,
I call
they
him
ain't
the
worried about
succubus.
that.
I call him the succubus because, like I said, he'll get all the credit for
6-point game.
how the team
Westbrook hit a
look.
3.
Okay. He'll get all the credit for how the team looks. And again, I mean, shout out to Angry O Hoops who, when he reacts to things, he shows that lack of defense and things like that. Look, LeBron knows how to manipulate the game as well.
Man, Denver keep turning the ball over. They got to cut them turnovers down.
Sure do. Sure do. But
9-point game. Yeah, he need all world help, man. That's what it come down to, man. That's why people calling it out. That's why Subban said what he said. That's why Malcolm Phillips said what he said.
But like I said, listen. So now here's the thing: no pussyfoot. It's win now mode, and you were making a good point. You change the roster every year. How do you expect any continuity? But by the same token, yes, you're in win now mode. You don't have the what do you call it, the out to say, well, what can you expect? We just got Luka. I sort of, it was a valid point that Jefferson was making about Luka, saying, well, he's used to a team that was built around him since he's been a rookie, and he comes into a whole new system. So yeah, it's going to take him, and of course, it's going to take him some time to get in shape and all that. It's not about him. To me, it's about the team. And so now, like I said, are you going to, knowing that, are we going to acquiesce and continue to build the Lakers around him? Well, it got to start now, right? It's got to start now. If you're either going to trade LeBron and his son and get something for it, because again, you're light on draft picks. You don't have a pick this year. You will get a pick next year. Yeah. Other than that,
Jokic just got fouled. They ain't call it.
you know how that goes. That's why when so and so wanted to talk about my Knicks, I saw a lot. I see that when you play the Lakers, they get the favoritism of the calls and whatnot. I don't know if Daddy Silva in that Hornets game gave LeBron like a 1-day reprimand for sitting out that All-Star game, because Austin Reeves sure got kicked out. You gotta listen there. I was on FYF. I said, oh yeah, they get that from LeBron. He gets that from LeBron, that the audacity to get in ref face, and you're Austin Reeves. Like, you're not a super. Austin Reeves is a nice player. I mean, he's been playing well. He's been playing well definitely since the trade and everything else. And pretty much for the season, he's having a nice season.
8-point game. Westbrook hit a 3. He's playing better this quarter.
Yeah, look, I expect them to hold on 1 second.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just had a phone call. So
9-point game.
Yeah, again, they kind of set the world on fire. Everybody was talking about it. The PK Subban thing, and you got again. It's what the thing. Who is he to be talking? Is it a hockey player? Blah blah blah. He made such a valid point, important point. Like I said, leave the game better than this. Not just the money. Leave the game itself. Because again, you're talking about record low viewership. The league is based on media. The league is based on promoting the stars and stuff like that.
9-point game.
Pretty much spit in the face of the fans, spit in the face of FYF told me that the game ain't marketed to me no more. They market it to little kids, right? The game is only marketed to little kids. And of course, when dude said that, it's just like, well, yeah, because little kids won't complain. They don't know well enough to complain yet. That's who it matters to. No, the league matters to every demographic because when you get fans, you get fans for life. These guys are fans from the time you're a child. Like when did you know that you were a Laker fan, Jermaine? Hello.
We say, Ro?
Damn, my audio is messed up. Once I'm about to bounce back in. Let me bounce back in. All right.
All right.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, you better now. Yeah. So I guess when the phone call came, it went into phone call mode. But yeah. When did you became a fan of the Lakers? Like what? How old were you?
Oh man, I had to be about 11, 12 years old. You know,
Okay.
about early 80s.
Yeah. So
Early
pretty
80s.
much in our adolescence, we become fans of this game, and we're fans for life. You know, and that's the thing, right? You're a fan of a team, you're a fan of the game itself. So to sit there and say, well, and I told him, bro, look, if the NBA ain't giving me what I want watching basketball and pro sports, I'm gonna go to other levels. I'm gonna go to other leagues. I'm gonna look at the women. I'm gonna look what we want. What we're just asking for is legitimate competition. That's what we're asking for. We're asking, again, nobody has to play hard. Look, people are gonna know. That's human nature. Certain things is human nature. But to sit there and know that you're honored to be an all-star, and to just not give it any level of seriousness, to give it no level of professionalism, bro. Again, and the attitude reflects the leadership. So when LeBron and KD and again KD, look, that's what they'll say. KD plays hard. KD loves the hoop. KD is a hooper super. I get that, but again, by the same token, look, if you wanted the rest of the guys to actually come out there and put on a show, if it mattered to you, you would have done it. You would have said what you had to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would have been that simple. Say what you had to say, bro. Come on, look. We gotta. I know this can be annoying, but I know that this pomp and circumstance. But let's give it the second half. When it gets 20, pick it up. This is what we do. We hoop. And that's it. Like nobody was calling for people to act like it was Game 7 in the NBA Finals. And even then, sometimes you don't even. I mean, it's so many. It's just when you talk about it, right? And again, I was given that all these parameters about load management and this and the third, and who's the low. They try to throw people. Look, LeBron could clearly load manage. You want to call Kawhi the face of load management? Okay, he was the first guy. They actually called it load management in Toronto, right? Where he wouldn't play the back to backs, and and again they won the championship. But load management happened long because it happened when he was in San Antonio. So you can't sit there and say Kawhi was the beginning of load management. They did it all over the league. What they would do is they would just take a minor injury and call it an injury. Then they just got to the point where, we're not gonna sit there and lie and say the guys, has a knee, whatever. We're not gonna sit there and lie. We're just gonna call it rest. We're monitoring an injury. Stuff like that. And again, that's just one of the aspects. You can really get somebody nursing an injury and not playing. I mean, to me, I'd rather a guy come out and play, 24 minutes or 30 minutes rather than sit out the whole game. If you're gonna sit there and play certain games where you're only gonna play a certain amount of minutes, it's better than you sitting out the whole game. Now, people will tell you what you have to prepare and go through pregame rituals and all of that taxing on the body. I don't believe in all. I believe that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you do what you got to do. You do what you got to do. I think we got to the point too because when my Knicks were blown out last night, I pretty much gave up. I said, hey, look, the Knicks didn't play hard last night. That's why they lost by 37 points. They didn't play hard. They didn't play hard last night. The game didn't matter. That's what they've been saying, right? This is what the LeBron fans and all they'll tell you, oh, their team, if they was playing hard, they would have won. When did we get to the point where we pick and choose when to play hard? That's the part of the game us old heads can never understand. It's just about, if you're playing, it's about pride. Play for pride. Play to beat because you want to beat the other team. Play because you hate to lose. These guys accept losing, then they make all excuses for losing. And that's pretty much what you have. So again, like I said, look, All-Star game, you're supposed to go out there and have fun. No one is asking for people to want to take somebody else's head off. Nobody's asking for that. But play with a little bit of pride. That's all anybody asks for. So look, we got that going on. The game is going. As a matter of fact, let me try to get
10 points, a 10-point game.
10-point game again. Yeah. So the Lakers are doing their, they're making their run. It's in the third quarter still or the fourth quarter?
35 seconds to go in the third.
Okay. Let's see, because I know Denver made prone to a lot of comebacks. But
I keep saying, the Lakers are playing really hard, man, because they trying to prove a point to the team. I get it, man. You got Luke out there. You knew he was going to eventually have a good game. That's just who he is. The problem is, man. It just seems like that he was snatched from his team. They came out with a report saying that the Maverick organization is now going to stop allowing fans to wear his jersey.
Which is wow. I didn't believe that was a real. I didn't believe that was a real thing, bro.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't either.
That doesn't even literally make sense. How you gonna tell guys who've been a Mavericks fan probably only have a Luka jersey, is paying as much money, you don't wear your Luka. What, you gonna give them a new jersey? You gonna give them the AD jersey for free?
Well, the whole circumstance behind the trade, man, we'll probably really never know the full gist of it.
Yeah, the spin is gonna happen. The spin is gonna happen. I'm trying to get this. Damn, bro. Oh yeah, I know what I gotta do. So, like I said,
Denver's ball.
Okay.
Now, if Denver pulled this game off, man, it's a jump ball in midcourt. It's a 9-point game. I know Luka never thought he'd be traded from Dallas. I'm saying the whole thing just seems weird how all that went down. But like I said, I ain't got nothing against Luka, man. I just want the other dude off my team. And when you got a Michael Phelps speaking out, when you get a hockey player speaking out, man, the league, man, it's a problem, dog. It's a problem.
They you only had to play. You only had to compete once every 4 years. Who are you to talk? Who are you to say? Think about that, right? You jump in that pool. You got one chance. This is what killed me about them going head to head with that sprinter. They don't seem to understand. For 20 years, Jamaicans own the title. The person who wins the 100 meter in the Olympics or World Championships has the title of world fastest man. Jamaicans owned that for 20 years. And we brought that back to the United States, and we hated on the guy who brought the world's fastest man title back to us for some spoiled, rotten guys who had to twerk it up because they got the refs to cheat. I'm going to say it. They got the refs to cheat and they beat France by a few points, and they beat Serbia by a few points with referee help as well. Come on, man. Nike sponsored that damn tournament, gave the IOC so much damn money to become another slurp fest for LeBron. That's what. And let's keep it real. That's what part. Like even the team Shaq winning, that was all set up to get Curry. I had to make the shots and all that, but that was all set up for Curry to get finals. All-Star game MVP in his home. You understand what I'm saying?
And the Lakers getting all the overturn calls. They overturning every call.
See, that's the other thing that kind of pisses me off too, is just looking at call, like we talked about that, right? Whether things could be fixed, right? And they were talking about that on AOA's channel. So AOA's had 93Zay and Sports and Fitness Rants on there, and Steam Engine, and it was a big debate. Oh, he also had Scap Attack. So 93Zay didn't come on that show, but Scap Attack, Steam Engine, and Sports and Fitness Rant. See, like Scap Attack and Sport and Fitness, they were on the side that nothing could be rigged, but it can be scripted. So now we're in a semantics game. The fact that anything is scripted means it can be rigged. And that was a big debate on, scripts and rigged. Look, we've had referees say, listen, this, tonight we want to see Jordan on the line. Or tonight. Again, this goes back to Jordan. This goes back to Bird and Magic. That you're accentuating the star. You're accentuating the star, so you're kind of setting an outcome. Now you can't. I guess what he said, what Sports Fitness was saying, you can't rig it. Rigging basically means you're assuring yourself an outcome. But when you script something, that is the same as saying you're rigging it, where you're kind of scripting the calls to favor one team over the other. 50-50 calls. I mean, it's really easy. You can get a team star player out by giving them 2 cheap foul calls, right? If you normally would kind of look the other. Not even, matter of fact, would be marginal contact at best, because marginal contact happens almost every play in the NBA, right? But you call that marginal contact. It doesn't affect any outcome of the game. You'll call that screen that looks good, but he just moved a little bit. That's what they'll do,
Hey, can I say something real quick? I ain't gonna get involved, but I'm watching this game, and can Denver get a call? That's all I gotta say.
This is exactly what we're talking about. We were just talking about that. And it's like, here's what we talking about. We gotta make a story. We want Luka to have his first good win, having a good game. Denver might not, in their own gym, might not get the call tonight. Come on, it's crazy. I'm trying to get the game. Yeah, because I'm trying to get the game on now. I wanted to be home by then, but it didn't work like that. I'm still.
Well, if Denver come back and win this game, if they come back, like I said, man, to me, like I said, at the end of the day, I have nothing against Luka. Like I said, I trust Luka more than the other guy. The win, but the problem is, it just feels like he was snatched from his own. Because I thought Luka was going to be a fixture, like like Dirk. That's how I saw Luka, and it just seemed like he was like snatched from the Dallas Maverick organization and redirected to the Lakers. That's the way it feels like, But
yeah, man.
But at the end of the day,
I was saying, that's definitely how it felt like.
That's how I feel like. Because Luka didn't. I know he didn't see that coming a mile. She never would have thought
nobody
that
saw that. Yeah,
nobody. So we were talking about. See that we were talking. Look, I'm looking at the box score here because I can't really get the game on. I think my other phone doesn't have. So I'm using my hotspot wireless to on my other phones, so I can try to get a peep at this game. But you look like all the guys are having a pretty good game. Reeves got 20. Hachimura got 20. 21, no rebounds, 4 assists. Okay, Luka's finally playing well. Not as efficient. I guess I saw Finney Smith's only 3. Westbrook Westbrook went back to the bench. I see. Okay, so he got 17 points though.
Yeah, my thing is Westbrook's playing good, but it's like he can't get one foul call. Like he's attacking the basket, doing the same thing Austin Reeves is, but gets none of the calls.
And you know this brings us fandom, us fans. It makes us suspicious about what the game is actually. You know, again, you leave it open. You leave it open to this interpretation.
Yeah, it's just
it's just crazy how you can swap. They've traded for 3 superstars in 6 years. That's unprecedented. And cause like I said,
exactly.
I haven't invested in this whole situation since it started. You trade for AD. They say, "Oh man, AD, you know, when LeBron get older, he gonna pass the time to AD. AD gonna finish his career as a Laker." Never believed it. Oh, they gonna be better than Kobe and Shaq. I didn't believe that for like a half a second, like a millisecond. That's a whole nother level. So it's just like I said, Luka. I have nothing against him, nothing. But at the end of the day, it just seemed like he was snatched from the Mavericks. That's what it feels like. But this game got a long way to go, man. You know, Lakers trying to, uh, they trying to prove a point, and then they trying to, Denver trying to adjust to their new lineup with Luka on the team. So
I gotta admit, the Lakers are playing well, but it's just like certain things you see, and basketball. It's like, how is Austin Reeves getting all these foul calls, and the same kind of contact for Russell Westbrook, but those same calls aren't coming.
I've said this for 2 years running. How does Austin Reeves get the James Harden respect? And James Harden don't even get the James Harden respect no more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like the flopping. Look, when is the last time they called a technical for flopping? See, every year the NBA leaves themselves open to this, where you come up with these new rules interpretations, right? And then you call it inconsistently. And it's just, they call it. They used to call it point of emphasis. Again, it's the same rule books, but now, hey, we've noticed that this wasn't called so many times, blah blah blah, and it just, again, I think at other levels of basketball, a foul is a foul, a charge is a charge, a block is a block. They leave it open to themselves open to make fans think that this is not a fairly called sport. You understand what I'm saying? Like things are not called fairly. And again, this is just what do we again? Look, I've said the theme not National Basketball Entertainment or National Basketball World Wrestling Entertainment because they call the game, they treat the game like it's WWE. Like we're trying to promote stars, and I get that's a good way to have yourself marketed, but at the end of the day, you better make sure that you are viewed as a legitimate sports competition.
Damn, Westbrook missed both free throws.
Yeah, Westbrook ever since the knee surgery, man, he was an 80% free throw shooter, and knee surgeries, he's been like up and down. But isn't he shooting his highest from 3 in his career?
Yeah, I think so this year. I think so.
Yeah, but hey, listen, this game is gonna come down to the end. The Lakers have shown up. Lakers got a crazy schedule. I just saw LeBron.
The thing is, like I say, the Lakers. Okay, you got Luke on the team. I mean, he can go off in any minute. They trying to prove a point to the Nuggets because Nuggets have had a number. And I'm telling you, the Nuggets, if they pull this game off right here, if they pull this off, man, then Lakers may well forget it and get this dude off the team, man.
Well, I'll tell you this. Yeah, like again, they got to prove that they can beat Denver in a playoff series. I know.
Luka is the 3rd all-time scorer in league history in point per game average, only behind Jordan and Wilt. And he's the only player.
It's crazy.
He's only one of 2 players in playoff history average 30 points or more. Only Jordan is averaging more than he.
Yep.
Denver, they can't hit a shot right now.
we got to talk about, because a lot of people will say, "Oh, Wilt wasn't a great," and I want to do, because I got a channel and we're gonna talk about this. Wilt did not drop off in the playoffs like way people think. People got to understand it was two parts of Wilt's career. It was a part where he played like Wilt, and it was a part where he took the coach's advice and played like Russell. So when you look at it, yeah, Wilt did drop off a couple of those seasons in the playoffs. Again, you got to remember, Wilt didn't have well, after they moved to San Francisco, they lost. Wilt lost his two best teammates. Who was Tom Gola? He lost the coach. Was it Hannah? But he lost coach and he lost Paul Arizin. Paul Arizin was his like Scottie Pippen, right? That was the second leading scorer. Paul Arizin was the star before Wilt got to Philadelphia, and so those seasons when they moved to he pretty much had no team around him, so they weren't very good. But then when he came back to Philadelphia with the 76ers, that's when he played with Chet Walker and Billy Cunningham and all those guys, and he adjusted his game to score less, facilitate more, and concentrate on defense and boards like Russell did. So then he's making his longest playoff runs, but he's only averaging 20-something points. So if you combine that with his early seasons where he was scoring 50 and 49 and skip 50 and 37 and 40 a game, he's not playing like that anymore in his longest playoff runs. So the idea that he was like he didn't score in the playoffs, no, he just changed his game up, and he actually was more dominant with the Lakers and the Sixers when he played like that. But so Luka is up there second in all-time playoff scoring, and again, that gotta mean you win now, right? That gotta mean you win now. And if I'm going to look at the Lakers are going to be at center. They're very weak, and LeBron is their power forward.
Well, that's why I said the next time they play Denver, man, they'll adjust to what the Lakers are doing, man. You can't.
Of course.
You're not gonna win no title, man. The Bulls, they had bodies at their position who can defend. With Cartwright and then Longley, Winnington, Purdue, Scott Williams, then Rodman,
Yeah. Look, we 10 toes down over here. The Lakers are not getting out the first round. You heard it here first, bro. So I'll stand on that. I don't think the Lakers will. I think the Lakers might fall to 6. They won't. It's not like they'll get to 4. They gotta. I was just saying how LeBron reacted to them playing 6 games in 8 days in March, and I'm like, and I commented on the post. I said, LeBron, you do realize you've been given a cupcake schedule up into the All-Star break, which is kind of reason why you're 12 games over, because this team has not been better than.
It's almost like when does he want the playoffs to start in May? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Like, you got, again, look, I know that they have to do certain things, right? When the Grammys come into town, the Lakers have to go on the road every year. That's similar to when with my Knicks in March till February, the Lakers always on the road. My Knicks, because of the college, you get the NIT and you get the Big East tournament. So when the college postseason starts, and a lot of teams got to use the Garden, the Knicks got to go on the road. That's part of like every year thing, right? So yeah, they got to clear out for a couple of weeks so they can set up the Grammys for the Lakers, and the Lakers go on that road trip. Again, with the Lakers, the Lakers were given 4 games with Charlotte, 4 games. They were given 4 games with Utah before the break. Again, they gave 2 games with Washington. They get Charlotte coming out the break and Portland. They've been given all of the bottom feeders. And again, I always talk about how they get the team coming on the West Coast trip. They'll get the Clippers first. Where the Clippers will wear the team out, then they'll get the Lakers on a back-to-back. Like, they can't let the team stay a couple of extra days in LA and get a fresh team for the Lakers. No, they'll feed the Lakers a tired team coming at the end of their back-to-back. So these are things that they've been doing as long as LeBron James has been in LA. To kind of give them that, give them that little rub so they can win a few more games. What can you do? what can you do? But I like don't complain about schedule because everybody goes through some schedule lows. And everybody goes through some tough periods, you know. But they told me on that other podcast, oh yeah, it was all. I'm like, bro, in Bill Russell and them era, they played 3 games in 3 nights, a lot. And you're talking about people that fly commercial, right? They flew commercial cross country. You didn't have like a lot of uh road trips on buses and stuff like that. Nah, they had to fly commercial, you know. So you got an update on the score, man?
It's a 14-point game.
Okay. Look, I still the way that Denver can play methodical, I never count them out against the Lakers. You know, but the Lakers
12-point game. Well, the thing about I say, man, it's like I say, they got a brand new player on the team. Matter of fact, they got 4 new players. Remember, they did 3 trades.
They traded for DFS
in like a month. So they got 4 new players. You shouldn't be able to trade that much during the course of the season. So Denver got to adjust to it's like a brand new team out there.
Question. I saw 18 guys listed the other night. Against Portland, I saw 18 guys listed, which means 18 guys could be technically in uniform. How is that possible? You're only allowed to carry 15 guys on the contract.
Well,
I saw because they had Cleaver and Morris still listed. Whether they suited up or not, you can only have 15 guys on the contract, or do we change that rule? I know you can get guys on a 2-way, and I guess Bronny technically is a 2-way. Maybe that's what it is. 3 of the guys on 2-way deals. But again, you should not be able to suit up 18 guys for a game. I don't know. I'll tell you, man. You know, look, that's just like wrestling. You know, you ever notice a certain guy can hold the belt, and then he gets a legitimate injury, and they make him relinquish the belt right away. But then meanwhile, let's say a Roman Reigns or The Rock or somebody else, they get a legitimate injury. Oh, they don't want to take the belt off of them. So now all of a sudden that 30-day rule, because again, like, you know, certain guys you're supposed to like defend the belt once every 30 days, but they don't even enforce that on certain people. Like it just gets it really like, do your rules matter or do they not? Or do the rules count or do they not? I don't understand it. I really don't understand it, man. But I mean, you know, so let's kind of we segue into certain things. Let's get into who we think the most overrated players are. Let's start with overrated. Let's go bad news first, and then we'll go to the good news. Who do you think gets a little too much credit and praise that they don't deserve in the league? I know. I would say do 5. I guess just give 5 and then we'll kind of rank them. You got anything on that?
I really think, man, any group of stars out there, man, that have tried to team up over the years, I think. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm not gonna focus on that. Overrated. I'm trying to. I think Halliburton. I think he could be better. I think he relied too much on the 3-point shot at times, and he played too loose out there.
Mm-hmm.
And
he is not a good down the stretch. You know what? I agree with you on that because he's not a good down the stretch point guard. I've never seen like the Pacers for as good as they are, high power they are offensively. They had a worst fourth quarter offense in the league, and that's gotta speak to your point guard. If your point guard is not holding it down, you know, like I think he's a interesting player. I think he's really a 2 guard, but he has that playmaking ability, so they make him the point guard. But I don't think he's a quintessential point guard. You know, so I agree on that one. Anybody else on your list?
Halliburton. Let's see. I'm gonna say overrated. Man, that's a good question. You would think I can come up with some players' names right away,
Well,
but I'm gonna
so
say
okay. While you think, let me go to mine, and I'll start again. I'm just gonna name 5. I'll start with Devin Booker. I made my. Look again. Devin Booker's a nice player. I've seen him since he was a 17-year-old at Kentucky, right? He was a young guy on that Kentucky team. They had Carl Anthony Towns, Willie Cauley-Stein, the Morrison twins, Tyler Ulis. All these guys want to play in the NBA, right? There's about 8 or 9 guys that want to play in the NBA at one point. Bakari Johnson, Trey Lyles, all like you talking about two starting lineups of future NBA players. But I think he gets a lot more credit than he deserves now. He's a terrific player, right? He's a terrific player, but a little bit overrated because I don't think he's that much of a needle mover when it comes to. I mean, look, for a guy who's the number one guy of a team that made to the finals, it's kind of crazy to say, right? But
that was his first year in the playoffs too. That year.
Yeah, it was his first year they made it to the, but a lot of credit can go to CP3, the point guard. And again, I think I've always called to remind you, he's no longer on my list, but I thought CP3 is overrated because I think they made it, like people will call him the best point guard of all time based on numbers, but I never seen where CP3 actually was that guy to lead a team. And again, sometimes a point guard shouldn't be the number one guy on a team. You know, sometimes the point guard their job is to make everybody better. Jason Kidd and Magic Johnson are 2 guys that I can say get a team to the finals. Also, Isaiah Thomas. Also, Steph Curry. He did it twice, right? I guess you say he did it 3 times, got a team to the finals. Based on being the man because of their impact. But, but when it comes to Booker, I just see too many games where he scores his points but don't move the needle doing it. So another one is Dame Lillard. Again, I've just been so disappointed. I didn't expect much of him going to Milwaukee, but one thing I didn't expect is him to be that bad defensively, where he throws off the whole defensive dynamic. Now, you can sit there and tell me that they got old guys and not great defenders outside of Giannis. That's, again, you can blame it on Doc Rivers. But it starts when you don't have a point of attack guard. And I mean, I didn't realize he was Steve Nash bad. And then on top of that, yes, he's a good shot maker. I've always thought he was a 2 masquerading as a point guard. Like a lot of these point guards. They're 2s. They're not real point guards. They don't have the timing that it takes to set up offenses in the traditional way, right? That a point guard could do. But Dame is, again, he's Steve Nash bad on defense. So those are 2 things that you gotta kind of work out before you tell me Dame is this top whatever, you know. So that's the second one. Did you think of anybody else? Have you thought of like any big man? See, the funny part about it is I don't think I have any big men on my list because I think right now it's harder to play as a big man than it's ever been because you really don't have big men getting the ball as much consistently, and they really have to be they all have to be rim runners. They have to run the furthest. I think we were talking about this earlier, right? Well, somebody was talking about how you had the game was 3-point to 3-point line now, you know, but for the guards, the centers they gotta run the whole length of the court, and they don't get rewarded enough. You know, that's a difference in the game, but yeah, I mean, I used to think Carl Anthony Towns. I mean, am I biased because he's a Knick? I just always thought he was soft. I thought I knew how talented he was. So I wanted him to play hard every night. I wanted him to have games. No, none of them games where he's, having singles because he should be a double every night. You know, he should have at least double figures. If he don't have double figures of points, he should have double figures of rebounds. You know, There are no nights where he's left with 8-6 or 8-4. You know, and playing for Thibodeau has gotten a lot out of him, so he's not on my list for that. I'm gonna say Trae Young is overrated as well because again, I think he's a guy who gets a lot of credit. They don't really look at his weaknesses, and he's not that big of a mover. Also, he's very inefficient. He'll get a lot of chances to make those shots, because he'll get a lot of shots. Look, he's a great playmaker. I'll give him that. But is he that great of a point guard? Again, I think I would say this: from my point guard, my standards of point guard, you have to be a point guard. Look, I'm a Knicks fan. Even I don't think Jalen Brunson is a real point guard most of the time. He does a lot of things where he's like a 3/4 of a point guard. He's more of a shooting guard, and that's one of the things I as the Knicks I want Thibodeau to play more than two guards. I want to play him with McBride a little bit more and play him with Payne a little bit more, just to get him off the ball because he's gonna look for a shot more than he's looking to set people up. I think a point guard's job is to set people up, be pass first. Again, there are very few pass first players in the league. So that's why I got pretty much three guards on my league. Booker sometimes acts to be that point guard, and he really isn't. And that's no knock to him because he is a shooting guard, but I don't think he moves the needle. So that's my third one. Fourth one, I'm gonna go Halliburton again with like you. The same reasons I said he does not. Again, for you to be leading the NBA in assists, with your team be the worst fourth quarter offense, it goes to show you, like when a game breaks down, the game gets tight. Those points and assists, and when his jump shot ain't hitting, he's worthless. Again, he's got point guards should be able to create offense. I'm thinking of the Ross Stricklands, the Sam Cassells. Again, I know I'm going back to the nostalgic time of my youth, but those guys moved the needle. Those guys were real point guards. I was told that Sam Cassell couldn't get his shot off the dribble, which just that certain channel that just says a lot of dumb stuff to prop up King James and act like nobody in Jordan's era could play. I mean, to say, tell me Sam Cassell, then I go and look at the Sam Cassell highlight reel, and it's all him getting shots off the dribble. I mean, one thing I love about Sam Cassell's game is he could pull up from anywhere, right? Again,
he was steady.
He could pull up from anywhere. With Ross Strickland, the master of improvisation, the guy who could just improvise and just come up with moves. Again, they was asking Kyrie, where you come up with all the moves? Kyrie came up with all the moves watching his Godfather. You know how many times in the gym you grow up being able to watch a pro like Ross Strickland? These are the underrated players from our earlier eras. When they saw him, when young Finn, these Dion Peaks or whatever, and all these we done with the '80s and done with the '90s cats go out and see them. I'm like, y'all acting like Ross Strickland was a bum. Are you kidding me? But see, again, this is a guy that I don't even think he made an All-Star game, which is just wild. It's just wild. And that's what they think. Oh, he didn't make no All-Star game. They don't realize how good this guy was. They don't realize how many good All-Star, how many good players at point guard you had back in them days. So that's my four. Have you thought of anybody else?
I'm trying to think here. I think. Oh man, I don't want to say Paul George overrated. I just think maybe he's just getting older, man. Maybe just getting older.
Yeah, I mean, look, they paid him like he's still prime Paul George. Again, he's 35. You gotta, um, a lot of young cats love him. He does have that. I remember when Paul George couldn't handle the rock that great. So I was happy to see him come up. He was more of a defender, like in his younger days, but he got better at everything. And so a lot of the young cats like Carmelo Anthony's son said, "That's my goal right there." Right, because he's a guy that they love. But see, at this point, the motor's gone now. Like I think
Yeah,
that's a
I
good way
think
to
that's
say
what
it
it is.
because
Yeah,
the motor's
I'm not
gone.
gonna say he overrated, but
And Paul, no. You look for guys getting paid 50 and the guy that can go on a podcast and talk about the All Star game. Look, that's fair game. And again, he's been one of my favorite players. One thing, I can like a player, but I keep it real. That's one thing I want to get into too, because that's what they'll do online. That's what they'll do in certain things. They'll call you a hater, right? And obviously they'll call you a hater for daring to criticize one guy. Meanwhile, these same guys will criticize guys the same way we're criticizing LeBron. And so criticism is not hate, because especially when you criticize other players, you know, how can you call it hate? Because could I say you hate? When I mean, how many guys really hate Westbrook? And I've said it again, 10 toes down over here. I've said Westbrook. Remember when I was telling you when I predicted once they traded for Westbrook, and I predicted everybody else is gonna be injured or sit out the season. LeBron's gonna go on a sabbatical, and I said Westbrook is gonna be the only guy left standing playing every game. Remember when I told you that? And that's exactly how it played out.
mm-hmm.
Yo, how can you hate on How can you hate on a guy who just plays hard? Does he play smart all the time? No, but he plays hard. Now he's in a position where the team he's on actually appreciates him and puts him in a position to succeed. Unlike the Lakers, after y'all gave up to Denver just gave them the mid-level exception, the mini mid, right? Oh, let's see, they blew out Denver.
Yeah,
Look, this is one of these things where if you're giving guys calls, if they get every 50-50 call, this will happen. And see, now we got a story here. They've manufactured a story. They have manufactured a story based on saying, "Oh, look, team that's been 14-1. Now look at and hey, look, if they played well, things can roll downhill like that in basketball. They can
man, I ain't
easily.
worried about this because, like I say, they did 3 trades in a month, so this is essentially a new team. You know what I'm
Uh huh.
saying? And then they signed what's his name, Lynn. They tried to make another trade, and that was rescinded. And then they signed this guy. So right now it's the front running stage. I didn't seen it so many times, dog. I didn't seen it
I
so
know.
many
Oh,
times.
I know. Like I said,
And
10 toes down. Look, I wish I would have saw more of this game. This action judge it. But by the same token, I do not believe that they caught up to Denver. Like I believe Denver these Saturday night games are tricky, the whole nine. I believe Denver will be ready come playoff
well,
time.
the thing is, the way the league is trying to set this up, man, they be trying to put the Lakers in position, well, this dude in position
Of course,
to sneak out a championship where everybody else got to,
of
build up
course.
over the course of the season. Like Denver didn't make no moves during the trade deadline. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to work it out. You know what I'm
They gonna
saying?
work it right with what they
OKC.
got.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, man. They didn't made like 5 or 6 different moves in over a month and a half. So it's essentially a brand new team out there. And then ain't no
Yep.
telling what this dude done did, to keep himself going. So yeah, this is it's redundant at the end of the day. And like I said, Luka is a top 3 player, but when it comes to money time, man, I just think at the end of the day, uh, they'll fall short, man. To be the
Yeah. I mean,
you
look,
know,
like I said, there's too many. There's too many holes. There's too many holes. I'm not believing that all of a sudden they've caught up to Denver. There's no Denver has actually been playing at a elite level
well,
this
Jokic
year.
only took about 7 shots, so that ain't gonna happen again. So
See, you know what kills me? If he's part of the script, Nah, look, man. Look, one thing I'm not going. I believe in my conspiracy theories, right? I don't want to speak it out too loud. I know. Shout out to the brother Carcino who believes in the magnet ball. I believe there's a magnet ball. I be watching guys that they have the worst fundamentals, hit it like nothing but net. Like, I be seeing sometimes, let's keep it real. LeBron barely be looking at the rim, and he just flicks it up towards the basket. If you get the right arc on it, it's gonna go nothing but net. That means there's an attraction in the net. Look, I'm not gonna get too loud on that. That's Carcino's gig, and I believe him. I believe it. I believe the technology is possible. And again, all of a sudden, you got guys that becoming elite 3-point shooters who will always average the mid 3-point shooters in their career. Just a little suspect to me. But again, they buy a story. They'll buy stories. Again, without seeing the game, both CW came on a second, Denver get a call. We were just talking about it. He came on a second, Denver get a call.
Yeah.
So maybe he's a Spurs fan. You are a Laker fan. Obviously, you want games cool on the up and up. Because again, it's just fool's gold. It's fool's gold. If this team is not ready and not right with what they're doing, yeah, you're just gonna, because who is coming back? Who can you really build? Who can you really get? You don't have you only had that 31 pick to trade, which is what you tried to trade for Mark Williams. And again, it gets their own. Him being injured kind of helped them out. Him being injured helped them out. Because that's the problem. He's always injured. So to give up what they gave for a guy that's always injured doesn't make sense. But
Well, bro. Nah, man. Hey, I'm I enjoy the now is CW still here or is it just us two?
It's just us two. CW is gonna bounce in and out. We probably gonna get to the season maybe on the next show. Or whatever, and we maybe even finish the underrated. Maybe I'll just put it up there. But I knew tonight was gonna be kind of more of a live react to the game, than get on the subjects we wanted to talk about.
Oh no, it's all good. I mean, there was a couple overrated players that I was able to think of. Right off the bat, now Embiid, I don't think he's overrated. I just think he just some injuries, man. I don't think he's overrated in the sense that
when he plays, he's at it. And I think a lot. He's been a lot injury struck a lot. I think he could work on his conditioning and whatnot. But he's not as over. He's not overrated. He's very talented. The MVP was deserved.
No, it was cool to see him get it. I mean, they were trying to downgrade Jokic, but it was good to see him get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but look, when your team, as I always said, there's a rule of thumb with MVP is if your team is first seed, you're not. Put it this way, you having a great season, you better be the first seed. Because if another guy's having a great season and his team is first seed and your team isn't, then that's gonna carry over, So that's pretty much So yeah, he stuck it out. He played most of the games. So when you're not gonna play a lot of games, and again, the 65 game rules that everybody complains about, but you gotta understand the media pretty much. Put it this way: two guys have a great season. One guy plays 82 games. His team wins more games. The other guy has a great season. He plays 60 games. Who do you think the league is going to go to? They got to play 82. And injury or not, that's part of the game. So, you got to try to work. And again, I look, right? Unfortunately, AD is not going to be eligible for injuries. If he doesn't beat the timetable, he's going to wind up missing more than 17 games. And he won't be eligible for postseason awards. And he was definitely up for Defensive Player of the Year. He was definitely up for Defensive Player of the Year. He was definitely up for all the NBA defense. And he definitely was up for all NBA first team. I don't think he was up for MVP. I think he was a little too far off for MVP. but I think he would have been in the conversation for those other things. And again, he should have got he should have been at least a finalist. I know he was All NBA defense last year, and I believe he was All NBA. But them was the breaks. Them was the breaks. Like, again, yeah, they're just not gonna get. They're gonna give it to a guy that played more games. And unfortunately, when you're not healthy, it does penalize you for these full season awards. So but I would try to like before you get out of here. I would try to say my fifth overrated guy is that's one I got to think about too. Again, because I just when I hear things, when I hear guys get certain excuses that, and I think that's one of the reasons I thought about this topic is because they'll give certain guys excuses they won't give other guys because we like Trae Young. Like Trae Young, again, is the Atlanta situation all his fault? No. I don't, but I do think some of it is because he's not the most coachable. Remember, they got rid of their coach a couple of times,
Oh
and
yeah,
the coach,
Nate McMillan, yeah.
Nate McMillan. I've always thought Nate McMillan was a great coach. I thought Monty Williams was a great coach. Now, what happened to them in their last, both Monty Williams in Detroit and Nate McMillan in Atlanta? Um, it's just kind of unfortunate. But it is what it is. Udoka, shout out to Udoka doing a great job. And shout out to these guys. I would say on my underrated, I think the Thompson twins. Like people need to know who they are. I think Mobley. Again, I'm glad that he made the All Star game because Mobley is a pretty damn good player. He's one of the better front court men in the league. Norman Powell again. That's another guy I always thought was overrated. Underrated, and now
And I want to thank you, man. This is 22 years. Yeah, Ro. Well, brother, man, I'm gonna chill on out here, man. I know these fans gonna be glazing and stuff, but like I say, at the end of the
you're
day,
gonna hear it. You're gonna
at
hear
the
it.
end of the day,
Yes, bro. Remember, we're 10 toes down over here. What we say today is what we'll say in March, April, and May. And when it proves out that this Lakers team is not the contender that they think, overnight contender that they think they are, you know, So that's where we at. Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, man. As well, I'm gonna probably wrap it up myself. Um, you know, yeah, I see you here. I see you here. What they was just glazing about 22 years of service or whatever.
yeah, that's what was his name, the locker room, Reggie.
Jesus Christ, bro. I mean, look, again, you played 22 years. You played basketball for 22 years. You didn't play 82 games every year. I mean, look, I'll say this publicly as well. I do admire LeBron's longevity, but don't use it as a crutch. Don't use it as he gets special treatment. Don't use it as a crutch when he doesn't play well. It is what it is. So, man, thanks for coming on, man. I know it's kind of rough getting it started and all this, but we did a decent show. We definitely did a pretty good show. We spoke on, again, we gonna speak off the cuff here. We gonna speak off the cuff here. We gonna definitely give you our. We're not gonna be bought. We're not gonna be, So I believe certain other content creators are bought and paid for. It is what it is. Some of them actually believe what they say, but I do believe, especially Mr. Arenas, I do believe his takes are get bought and paid for. And, it is what it is. Whatever pays your bill, I can't hate on you, man. But over here, I can't bullshit people. I can't say what I don't believe. So, again, this is the 10 Toes Down podcast.
Yep.
We definitely, we give you consistent thoughts. We give you consistent, look, if the Lakers if the Lakers manage to go on a 10 to 15 game winning streak, all right, you gotta give it props. They're winning them games,
Well,
and
they ain't
maybe
all time win out mode.
I don't, the win now
mode. I ain't nobody gonna hear me say nothing bad about Luka Doncic. Nobody's ever heard me say anything bad about the Lakers front office. I've never said nothing bad about Rob Pelinka. The young players who they draft are exceptional. The problem is the direction that they took instead of just building the thing up.
Mm-hmm. Build the thing up because you could have a dominant team now.
You really win it. You wouldn't have to be going to this extent to win now, bringing in 3 superstars in 6 years. That shouldn't be a requirement. But when you got that dude on the team, hey,
it's about him. It's about glazing him. I mean, look, if you would sit there and say, you know what, we're really trying to go for it. We're gonna build the scene around. No, they saw you see already. Thank you for the 22 years of service. Thank you for, bro. When is it gonna be about the team and not you? When is it gonna be about the team and not you? If that was the case, then maybe more people could embrace it. Maybe you would even embrace it a little bit. But it's never about the team. It's all about what glory he can suck up. And I think that's the other thing I said. I think because it wasn't in the script for him to get more love, more shine, even though his good friend Steph is all of a sudden good friend, rival, but good friend Steph Curry was going to get the love. You got the love for the Olympics that you really didn't deserve. They had to go to Curry so they could actually win that goddamn gold.
Right.
Stop relying on you pounding and driving and kicking when nobody else could get theirs. They had to rely on Steph to open up the floor.
So let's just look at this. He played with, they say AD was a generational talent, averaging 28 and 12 in New Orleans, the top 3 in PER. Then he played with the all-time leading triple doubles, two-time scoring champion, MVP, former league MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's playing with the third all-time point per game score in the history of the NBA, only behind Jordan and Wilt.
Second in
playoff. One of only 2 players in league history averaged 30 points a game in the postseason. Only Jordan has averaged more than him. And they'll sit here and rant and rave. That's what be killing me. But they'll bring up Pippen. They bring up Pippen in a heartbeat. But man, it's just one game, no.
Nope.
Yeah. But yeah, Ro, man, yeah, I'll be ready for the next time we go 10 toes down.
No doubt, man. Thanks for coming, and guys in the audience. I see we got a couple of viewers. Thanks for watching. Like I said, we try to get a smoother show going on next time. I think I did okay. I came from Queens home. I just got home, and I'm about to retire. All right, guys, man. Thanks for watching.
All right, everybody.
All right.